And we are coming at you live with session 4 of our Neverland, Nevermore campaign. Bit of a light crew today, and probably going to be going forward. We might get some people back, but let's go ahead and just get started. Who would like to give the recap for a free six? And David is actually eligible again. Last time was Mary,
I'll
so
do it.
everyone is eligible.
I'll do the recap.
All right.
So let's see.
Would you like a reminder of?
Starting off, I think I remember the last one. I think starting off, we just got back
No, with
from Unicorn, correct?
correct.
Yeah, okay, so we got back.
And
Teddy and
you had
Horatio were
something
back.
with you.
Yeah, Teddy and Horatio were back again. They kind of saw us coming in with a great big treasure chest. We excitingly shared tales of hullabaloos and electric unicorns. Um, uh, Benjamin was kind of bouncing around, being very distracted between sharing his great adventures, trying to mend the broken lightning stick, or, well, the sliver of the lightning stick we'd sacrificed for the unicorn. We talked about getting the chest some. Horatio asked if we tried using magic to open it, and we didn't try to use magic to open it, but we were pretty sure that wasn't going to work. And I believe, is it Alara or Elena?
Your fairy friend,
Yes.
Alara.
Alara confirmed that we would need 2 skeleton keys, which is pretty neat. And then we told them about the treasure cave after Benjamin rushed off to try and fix the stick, and we kind of went on the way. Benjamin was being a bit of a tour guide, kind of pointing out things. We got to the cave, and Benjamin excitingly shared his new favorite thing, which was choo-choos. And when one glomped onto his hand and he kind of held it to snuggle it, Horatio thought that that meant that they were edible and took a bite out of one. It was a very spicy red choo-choo, and Horatio quickly learned choo-choos are friends, not food.
Maybe they're both.
And hopefully they're friends and not food. I don't want to use my choo-choos as emergency rations. And then people were kind of like searching around. I think Horatio and Teddy finally got themselves geared up at this point, and I believe Teddy got a like cornucopia plate.
That happened
And
well later after you had selected your next mission.
okay, yeah, sorry, it's just going back and forth to the cave. So I think we just kind of like chatted for there a bit, and then Benjamin rushed out to try and fix the stick.
Yeah, there
Benjamin
was a
found.
red prism crystal that came from the unicorn sword. Remember that?
Oh right, we did kind of get that. I think it got left in the treasure cave.
It did. But you
Right
found
after
out what it
Benjamin
does. Well,
that will totally not be bad at all later. Anyways, and then Benjamin kind of like left the group to try and fix the stick as people were, and during that he found some forget what the fairies kind of like, it sounded like a faction name that
the
made the cookies.
Keeblers.
Yeah. He found some Keebler fairies and they shared cookies with him. And Benjamin, coming from Grelid the Kind's orphanage, thought cookies were the best thing to ever happen and went back to try and share them with the group. As people were coming out of the treasure cave, Alex spied a beautiful tree with bluish leaves crackling with electricity and had found that her staff had regrown into a living tree better than ever. And then we all met up with Grandma Fairy. What was her name?
Marine.
Maureen. And she shared some delicious pies with us. The delicious, like, non-meat barbecue blueberry pie. There was some chocolate pies and stuff. Well, chocolate in quotes. Just very nice, delicious pies for dinner. And then we all settled into our rooms. Benjamin took his little choo-choo and put it in a jar and checked on it was okay because he had rescued the choo-choo that got chomped by Horatio. And then I think we mostly just had a good sleep from there.
Mm-hmm.
After that, in the morning, we got up, had some delicious bear mush, and Benjamin discovered he could chug bear mush, which is the best thing ever in his mind. Then after that, I believe we mostly just talked about going out on another mission, and then we went to the library. On the way, Benjamin was sure to add some little tips about what you can and can't eat here for Horatio. Um, and then they got to the library, and they all shrunk down and went in there. Benjamin found that there was a quest to do choo-choos and selected that. People were selecting various quests as well from there, and Benjamin put it up to a vote, not wanting to just say we're doing choo-choos because, you know, he doesn't want to become a bit of a tyrant. And so after that, he went and tried to read his Magic for Dummies book, and he got nowhere because he started reading chapters he had already read and hadn't realized.
Yep.
Very, very fitting for what the book is for. And then after that, we kind of like all decided what we wanted. We researched like choo-choo migration patterns, the environments they like and don't like. We discovered that they're deathly afraid of hullabaloo beasts, and hullabaloo beasts just like to suck them up like delicious jelly treats through their trunks.
Yep.
And then we went to the treasure cave to get all stocked up on gear, and this is when I don't know what Horatio got. I don't really remember, but I do remember Teddy's cornucopia plate.
Mm-hmm.
And then Benjamin had a cool idea he was going to try out with that magic absorbing prism. Fortunately, he learned what it does before he tried that out because Tina picked it up and could sort of see something through it, was going to show everybody, but it had been absorbing the magic from the dream time the entire time, and it turns out it teleports you somewhat randomly, at least as far as we know.
Yeah.
And we ended up in the sky above Neverland, falling from great heights. Some stress rolls ensued, and people did their best to, survive. Benjamin, unfortunately, did not handle the prism the way he would have wanted to, and teleported everybody into vines and stuff above a bubbling sulfur, kind of like hot spring vent cenote.
Yeah, that would not have been fun to fall into.
Yeah, people kind of like, they managed to climb out. Benjamin didn't have to try and teleport everybody out with the gem, and people just kind of managed to climb out and help each other out so nobody fell in, which was very nice. After that, we discovered we were sort of where we wanted to be and started heading towards the village. I believe during the time of sort of heading to the village, we encountered the slime. No, we didn't start going to the village. We just saw the choo-choo tidal wave migration in the distance.
Yep.
And we went up. We saw the great golden choo-choo in charge, which of course Benjamin loves choo-choos, so that's one of his favorite things now. We did interact with it a little bit, but the golden choo-choo did not seem to like us very much.
Yeah, I gave you the angry eyebrows.
Oh yeah, it gave us angry eyebrows, and it had some choo-choos like rear up into choo-choo smothering waves, so we got out of there pretty fast to check on the village. We found the village, told them we were here to help. Laura had to translate a squirrel and a fez for us, which was very nice. It was just a cute little village filled with woodland animals growing nuts. We did discover they were growing cashews, which choo-choos love cashews.
Yeah.
So we figured that's why the choo-choos were heading here. We asked if we could harvest the cashews and help them out. And the squirrel told us, yeah, we don't even really like cashews. We don't know why we were growing those. And so we picked up some cashews and put them all in bags and tried to lure them away. We left. No, as we were going, a hullabaloo beast came out of May May's cashew bag.
Yep.
And so because of that, we left May May, Snuggles the teddy bear, and the hullabaloo beast kind of behind to protect the village. And then we brought the cashews to the cave. And as the Choo Choo tidal wave came up towards the village, Snuggles, May May, and the hullabaloo beast formed a awe-inspiring, super intimidating, like mecha fusion type thing, and just absolutely scared the choo-choos out of their minds, and they started going the other way. Of course, if you weren't a choo-choo and there wasn't like an ultra hullabaloo beast, you would have found it very adorable because of May May's little roar that went along with it.
Yep.
So they kind of turned and went that way, but this entire time, Benjamin has sort of been fiddling with the prism, now knowing what it does, and he created a capturing device out of it.
Totally
And
not
with it,
Pokemon Pokeball.
yeah, not completely legally distinct. Please don't come after me, Japanese copyright lawyers. You terrify me. And then I think he brought Teddy with him towards the Choo Choo tidal wave, and then he threw the ball, doing a motion like he was twisting his cap back and winding up a big pitcher's throw, and he caught the Choo Choo with it.
Yep, the
And
golden
then
choo-choo.
the golden Choo Choo with it, the great golden Choo Choo of awesomeness and rareness. And then they kind of like collapsed into a tidal wave, and everybody had to, try and deal with the tidal wave, which Benjamin did very gracefully and snagged 2 new Choo Choos from it, a red one and a green one. And a few other people, I think, got some stress because of that, but, Benjamin got his golden Choo Choo. He's happy. And then I think we went back and we checked on the woodland village after, making sure the choo-choos were going in their new little cave home. And we had like a great celebration, and they put on little parades, and we accepted the skeleton keys, and we told them, we're happy to help whenever. May May put on a wonderful performance with a magical animal flute she got before we got teleported by the prism stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all joined hands, and Benjamin said the magic words, "There's no place like home," 3 times, and we teleported back in. Did we go further than that, or did we unlock the chest with the skeleton keys? Because I don't remember doing that.
Nope, that was as far as you got. You guys had just teleported back to the Temple of Elements.
Yep.
All right, good job with the recap. Make sure to remember you've got that free 6. And
I will try and remember.
right. This is the same thing with the hero points in Pathfinder. You almost never remember they're there, but every once in a while it comes in handy. But yeah, so you guys teleport back to the Temple of Elements and find yourselves sitting around or standing around in a circle. I imagine Benjamin is probably the one who has the skeleton keys. And you see once again that Teddy and Horatio are not in the circle. They're absent, but you can see them floating in beams of light held by the Temple of Elements once again.
Oh,
And
well,
Tina's up there too.
Yes, Tina is also there. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, you're now back in the Temple of Elements. You guys already kind of attuned all of your magic, the mana that you had acquired, so that goes floating out to the various statues in the 4 corners of the temple.
Benjamin is going to look around excitedly and then say, "Wait a minute, I need to get to the treasure cave," and he's just going to dash off.
Wait for me. I run after him.
I follow them.
Cool. Alara will laugh and join you as well. So you guys are splashing through the waterfall in no time and find yourselves inside the treasure cave. And there, piled atop a large stack of other treasures, is the chest. You can see the large gaping sockets of its eyes where the keyholes are.
Benjamin, instead of going straight to the chest, kind of turns and looks in the corners, and there he finds his golden choo-choo waiting for him, and he's gonna use some sand he picked up along the way with his magic to
You don't see
make
your
a
choo
little.
choo. In fact, you notice a suspicious absence of choo choos in the treasure cave.
Oh no, he rounded up the wild choo-choos in the caves, and she's now on the loose. Uh, I'm gonna start searching for signs of choo-choo. Should I roll for that?
Sure. I think that'd be contact. Is that what I've had May rolling for animal stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me try and get into Roll20 real quick. I totally forgot to set that up.
Dun dun dun. All right. You have a 2 in contact if you've got any physical dice with you.
Yeah, I can roll some physical dice real quick.
Would you like to spend any of the mana out of your banks? The only one that you can use is your wind mana for contact, though.
How much wind mana do we have?
You have 6.
I'll grab one.
Okay. Roll that one separately.
I got a 6 and a 3, and then I rolled a 1 for the wind mana.
All right.
Oh
Well,
no.
unfortunately, that means that your account is overrun. Ignore all other results and lose all dice in the bank. So you not only lose all of your wind mana, but you have no idea where these choo-choos are gone. Looking around, there are kind of choo-choo slime marks that are leading to a small kind of like, I don't know, plum-sized hole in the roof. But you have no idea where that exits.
Well, Benjamin is now officially not allowed to use mana for some time.
Well, that's the only bank that has that risk, is your wind mana.
Yeah, well, I just burnt 6 mana, so I'm gonna kind of count that as part of it.
Fair. Yeah, you feel like exhausted as you felt the mana channeling through you like you had previously with other mana stored in the Temple of Elements, but then instead of being effective, it just absolutely just like blasted through you, and you are now exhausted inexplicably.
Benjamin, kind of panically looking around, not good, knowing what's going on, is like, the choo-choos, they're gone! I need to find the choo-choos! So he's just like helplessly flailing around, searching in quotes for his choo-choos.
I wonder if we could use hullabaloobies to find the choo-choos. I bet they can smell them.
The slimes, the choo-choos might not live long if we use the hullabaloopies to find them.
Benjamin
I bet
and
convince the
somewhat
hullabaloobies not to eat them.
the group and says, the hullabaloobies are gonna eat my choo-choos, as he runs out of the cave, desperately searching for his choo-choos.
All right. Well, you are now outside of the cave. I assume you're gonna go scrabbling up the cliff to the kind of area above the cave.
Yeah.
All right, you do that, and there is no sign of them.
Benjamin is just gonna kind of sit on a rock up near the top and contemplate his life in despair.
We flew too close to the sun trying to capture a golden choo-choo. Alright, what are the rest of y'all in the loot cave doing?
Alex, seeing how distressed Benjamin is, decides to also look for the choo-choos.
Alright, where are you looking?
Well, I looked to see if I can find where it exits, and I got 2 falls.
Alright, so you're looking up where Benjamin is above the loot cave?
So a mostly positive result of your action, but you must include a negative of humorous negative of humorous effect. I don't know.
Negative or humorous?
Yeah, it just looks like an F on mine.
That's interesting.
So Alex finds Will exits because there's a bit of slime, but as she follows it, she comes to a river and loses the slime track. Negative, but like we have some idea where they went now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to be heading toward the fairy village.
Hey, Benjamin, the slimes seem to be heading towards the village. You should look there.
Benjamin perks up, now hearing there's a chance to find his choo-choos. He's like, come on, guys, let's go get them. Who knows what that golden slime is going to have the choo-choos do if they find the fairy village. He's going to rush off in that direction.
Alright, so you already passed through the fairy village on your way from the Temple of Elements, but you return there. You find Maureen, doing her thing in the kitchen, and everyone seems to be proceeding with life as normal. There's no terror wave of choo-choos running around, catching fairies out of the sky, and I guess trying to swallow them?
Benjamin is going to go over to Maureen and ask, have you seen a golden choo-choo, or would you know how to find one if it was here?
Oh, I don't know, sweetheart. Those choo-choos can be real stealthy when they want to be. But no, I haven't seen any.
Benjamin is going to say, thanks, and then he's going to return to the group, who I assume pretty much everybody has followed to the fairy village.
Yeah.
He's going to say, the choo-choos lost us. Hey, May, you're really good with this sort of thing. Do you think you could find where the choo-choos are?
I'll do my best. I would like to see if my animal flute works on choo-choo. So I'm just gonna play my animal flute and see what happens.
Okay, go ahead and roll contact.
Contact is a 4. Oops, that's D4s. I got a 3.
Alright, well that is going to be not great. So you play it, and after a few moments, you have like 12 of those glowing purple lemurs crawling all over you. And they are trying to help you play the flute by sticking their fingers in the various holes on the flute and also your nose.
No. Lemurs, leave me alone. I was trying to speak to the slimes. The choo-choos.
They seem very entertained by your reactions. And every time you try to play the flute, they immediately start poking fingers in holes again.
Okay, I put the flute away.
So Alara flits up. Don't worry, the choo-choos kind of wander off every once in a while, but that's probably the nicest place for them in anywhere nearby, so I'm sure they'll be back eventually.
Benjamin kind of turns to Alar and is like, "Are you sure?"
I mean, they've been back every time before now, so I don't see why it'd be any different. And if not, then we can put up a proper rescue party and try to find them.
Benjamin is gonna kind of just decide, probably waiting is the best thing. And sometimes if you love something, you have to let it be free. So he'll wait for it to come back. And gonna kind of take a second to calm himself and recenter and remember what he's really supposed to be doing right now. And he remembers he has the skeleton keys. He's gonna pull them out of his pocket. He's like, "Oh yeah, we need to use these now."
All right, so you guys head back into the loot cave. The chest is still sitting there. The roof is still devoid of choo-choos. But you slot the keys into the eye sockets, and as the key is inserted all the way with a loud, audible click, the fingers on the front of the key, because if you remember, it basically looks like a skeletal finger with a key kind of poking out the backside.
Yeah.
The finger part of it bends forward with a creaking kind of monkey paw curling kind of noise. But then after the second key goes in and it also bends forward and all of that, you hear several more internal mechanisms turning and thunking, and then the lid pops just slightly open.
Benjamin is gonna open it, practically hearing the Zelda da-na-na-nas in the background as he opens it and then holds up the thing that was inside for everyone to see.
All right, you do exactly that, and everyone looks on as you are now holding what appears to be a long tuft of black hair. On closer examination, it seems to be a tuft of thick, curly black hair that is wrapped and held with a strap of leather. And as you kind of look further, you see that it smells slightly of sulfur.
Benjamin is going to think about for a second what he has. He turns to the group and he's like, "I give you a lock of Blackbeard's beard."
Whoa.
Wow.
Maybe the great artifact and treasure of Blackbeard we're hunting for is his beard. He's gonna turn and look at Alara and see what she has to say.
Well, that's as good a guess as I've got. It really does seem like a piece of Blackbeard's beard. In fact, it even looks like it has what's it called? Not a wick. Fuse. It looks like it has a fuse in it, which the old story says that Blackbeard used to put fuses in his beard so that they would burn and let off eerie smoke clouds around him, really intimidate people.
Benjamin is gonna look at the beard and say, "Wow, this guy was actually pretty cool. Can you imagine putting burning things in your beard and it not burning your beard?"
Yeah, that does seem like a challenge, but Blackbeard was pretty crazy.
He had fireproof hair. No wonder he was so powerful.
Well,
Hmm.
it's fairly easy to find out if that is one of the three pieces of the mythical treasure. We could take it to the Temple of Elements and see if it reacts.
Benjamin is gonna nod and say, "That's pretty useful. Let's go, guys."
All right. So you return to the Temple of Elements, and Alara instructs you to place it on a large table in the very center. And doing so, you go ahead.
Benjamin, on the way, has been using the lock of Blackbeard's beard hair as like a Shifu style mustache. And so, when told to place it on the table, he takes it off and puts it on there.
All right. So the lock of beard starts slowly floating into the air as lights from the table begin to glow around it. But then the lights sputter out, and the lock falls back down onto the table.
So Benjamin's going to pick it up and say, "I think that means a no."
Yeah, that'd be my guess as well, Alara says. It did
Might
react,
still be
though.
helpful.
It must be related somehow.
Maybe we could use it for like a homing device to find it eventually.
It's not a bad idea.
Benjamin's gonna put it in his coat pocket for now. We'll probably use it sometime later, but Benjamin's gonna turn to the group and say, "Well, I think it's probably time we get some rest and find someone else to help tomorrow. As long as we're helping people on the island, eventually we'll find what we're looking for."
Exactly. All right, so everyone grabs some dinner with Maureen and then turns into their beds. Any of you adding decorations to your rooms on this occasion?
No. Benjamin's gonna make like a dream catcher out of like some dried grass and branches and stuff, but in the middle, or like instead of one of the feathers, he's gonna hang like the Blackbeard tuft.
All right. Anything from Maymay?
Nothing for Mamie.
Not even like a drawing of a hullabaloo beast on your wall or something?
No, Mamie sees the lemurs have followed her to her bedroom, and they're looking greedily at the animal flute, and so she's protecting her animal flute all night from the greedy lemurs.
Fair. So, as you are, worriedly looking out the window as lemurs occasionally drop down and stare directly into your soul to see if you're asleep yet or not, you hear from Benjamin's room a loud thump and then a gurgled cry for help.
Ah! I grab Mr. Snuggles and run out into the hallway and yell, "Ben, are you okay?"
Exactly.
I try to open the door.
All right, the door comes open and you see Benjamin covered in a mass of choo-choos with a large golden one kind of standing off to the side looking smug. It seems, Benjamin, from your perspective, you were working on the Dreamcatcher, and then just as you got into bed, ready to turn in for the night, you lay back and you feel something wet drop on your cheek, and you look up at the roof, and you realize the choo-choos have crawled up into your roof and have been hiding up there, waiting for the right moment to pounce. and they decide it's now, and the entire mass of choo-choos just drops on you.
Benjamin is trying fruitlessly to get out from the mass.
Mr. Snuggles, scare him away. Get away from Ben.
All right, go ahead and roll contact.
6.
Nice. All right, so that is a thorough success. What happens?
Okay, Mr. Snuggles inflates to his full-size form and does a body slam, and it results in like a wave effect in the mass of choo-choos, which doesn't really make sense in real life, but we're going with it.
Yep.
And the wave of choo-choos kind of shoots outward, and they all smash into the wall. And Benjamin is unaffected, because Mr. Snuggles has picture perfect aim right to the right of where Benjamin was laying. And then all of the choo-choos slowly start, like, I guess, slipping back towards the center of the room.
And they slide down the walls with like a rubber noise, like.
Benjamin, quick, get out of there! They're gonna swallow you again.
Benjamin is going to try to use magic to fling the jar. That's the empty jar with a lid on his nightstand. And he's going to use his magic to take the lid off real quick, fling the jar and the lid at the golden slime, and then close the slime in the jar.
All right. First, let's go ahead and get a 2-die stressful roll for your time in the slimes. Do you have so many cool points? Yeah, that's what I thought. So you just ignore it. And then yeah, go ahead and roll academics with an extra die for being in the dream time.
Cool. I like that. Okay, so a 5.
All right, go ahead.
So it quickly and efficiently kind of catches the golden choo-choo and sets it gently on the windowsill. Benjamin is going to decide now's not the time to try and grab it. He's going to rush out of the room now upon May's command, but very happy the golden choo-choo is safe and has been found. And already has completely forgiven the choo-choos for trying to murder him. He does not care about choo-choos too much.
All right, so you see the choo-choos kind of wobble around, reforming themselves in your room for a minute, and then looking around, it seems as though they can't see ? The golden choo-choo, and they just start wandering out through windows and the doorway and just slurping around aimlessly. Kind of generally, they seem to be heading back toward the cave.
Seeing that the choo-choos are no longer trying to murder him, he's going to pick at the golden choo-choo's jar and give it a great big hug as he walks over to the desk where he's got his other choo-choos. He's got Gudrick the Choosin on his desk, along with Link and Ganondorf, the green and red choo-choos respectively. And then he's going to set his new golden choo-choo down on the desk and say, "I'm so happy you're safe." Still kind of half hugging it as he has it set down on the desk.
All right. Well, things seem to have been settled, so you guys head back to bed, and the next morning you wake up. Maureen has a hearty breakfast. She says, I made you a nice scramble. It's got mushrooms and onions and some tomatoes in it. And then, because you's all growing youngins like weeds, I went ahead and I made you all a nice big stack of flapjacks as well.
Benjamin's jaw is literally going to drop, seeing the unbelievably amazing setting of food before him, like the things he's only seen in the TV shows he watched in the neighbor's windows from the bedroom of his dorm room. Dorm in quotes, and also room. It was Grella the Kind's orphanage. It's not exactly like the rooms were sealed.
Yep. So breakfast is amazing, and soon enough you guys are back in the library, and it's time to go ahead and pick your next quest. So
Benjamin is going to go up to the quest board and notice one quest in particular. The baby seals that were in trouble last time we checked the quest board have apparently flipped the situation, and they're now kidnapping people. Benjamin finds this to be very interesting and is going to show the group this quest and suggest it and see what people think.
yeah, so Benjamin grabs one of the quests off of the board, and in fact, it says that the baby seals have grown tired of waiting for help and have taken matters into their own hands. The baby seals have begun kidnapping pirates, and there is now a full-blown hostage crisis going on.
So Benjamin's going to show it to May and think, I think you could help out with this one.
Oh, definitely. This is my specialty.
All right, so
He's also going to kind of show
Baby seals
Alex.
are very nice creatures. Something must be very wrong for them to be running so amok.
yeah, if you remember the last couple of quests, there was one where baby seals were being kidnapped, but you chose other quests, so it seems they have grown tired of waiting for you.
Oh, we failed them.
Alright.
Benjamin's going to show it to Alex and say, what do you think of this one? You think this one will be good to do?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Benjamin is going to make his standard reading of Magic for Dummies real quick.
All right, go ahead and roll academics. All right.
Okay, I got a 4.
So it's not bad. You make some progress.
I make some progress, but I now think that, let's see, what's a magic word? Thermatagy is pronounced thermagony.
You mean thaumaturgy is pronounced thermagony?
Yes.
Alrighty.
See, I figured I could stumble onto a mispronunciation, even if it was just the first thing I thought it was mispronounced as. Or, well, the first thing I was pronounced as.
Exactly. All right. Let's get some research rolls. Who wants to do some research on this quest?
May, I bet you could use your contact and animals for research here instead of academics.
Not really in this case.
Oh well, it was worth a suggestion.
Yeah, not unless there's someone that she is reaching out to specifically for information, which if you could come up with a way to do that, then that would work.
I figured I'd do some research.
All right, what are you researching?
Just the area and stuff.
All right, you got a 5, so go ahead and let me know what you found.
I want you to decide, Thomas.
All right. So you find out that the area is one of the northern islands, one that is usually mostly snowy and rocky. The seals generally spend most of their time fishing, And the pirates don't spend a whole lot of time up here because there's not a lot of interest for them. So it does seem a little bit odd that they would bother with kidnapping seals.
I wonder, since the pirates had a map to Blackbeard's treasure, I wonder if there's something to do with that here, and the seals know where it is.
It's quite possible.
Benjamin's gonna research now. Cool, a 6. And we have been keeping track of mana, right?
Yes, I have been keeping track of mana. You guys are already up to 5, and that's another 2.
Okay. So let's see. Benjamin is gonna discover that although generally peaceful, especially now, the seals were once extremely renowned water fighters. They even had a special SEAL Team 6. Very cool stuff. But they mostly went peaceful now. And they were known, especially back then with SEAL Team 6, to have interacted with Blackbeard and stuff. So it does seem a decent possibility that they could at least know something about what we're looking for. They are generally mostly friendly at this point, but who knows how things have changed with the kidnappings happening.
All right. May gonna do any
May
research?
is researching Hullabaloo beasts.
All right. Go ahead and roll it. It's academics.
What is my academics? I think it's a 2.
At some point, we're going to learn that Hullabaloo beasts are actually Blackbeard's great treasure he left behind.
All right, that's another 6.
6, yes. May learned that Hullabaloo beasts have pretty much never interacted with seals in ever. And it was completely unhelpful. But she also learned that Hullabaloo beasts, under the right circumstances, namely during mating season for 1 hour in the springtime, will sing the most beautiful song you have ever heard in your entire life, and it is said to make people faint just from hearing it. And now she has a new bucket list goal. It has
Nice.
nothing to do with our quest, though.
It does, in fact, have nothing to do with your quest, so I'm gonna have to take away those 2 mana. All right.
Oh.
So, did you find out anything that is quest related so that you can get those 2 mana back, or do you want to move on to getting your tools together?
I could probably find something Hullabaloo Beast related that is related to seals. I can't think of anything.
Can I give a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Hullabaloo beasts aren't great swimmers, but they can hold their breaths for shockingly long.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
They need to be able to do that to play their pranks.
Exactly. No, they basically just fill their trunk up with air and then they swim around like little submarines.
even doing like the periscope thing with their trunks.
Exactly. And somehow they can see when they do that. You're really not sure how.
Their trunks are a periscope.
Just don't ask questions. They're hollow bluebees. They're the greatest thing ever, and they're not at all Eldritch.
Exactly. All right. So now we'll head over to the loot cave. Anyone want to grab some gear before heading out on this mission?
It's fine. I'll just use my lightning stick and electrocute everything in the water.
It sounds like a plan.
Please don't go TNT while fishing with your lightning stick. So Benjamin's gonna spend gear. He's half making it, half finding the stuff for it, so he can apply his tinker bonus.
Okay, go ahead and roll technology, and you can have the extra die for the tinker bonus. Looks like
Cool,
that's
so
a 5. All right, that's one more mana. What do you grab?
Benjamin has managed to get 3 sets of extremely good cold weather gear that you can kind of like tie certain areas, like if you tie around your waist, your wrists, and your ankles, and put a special face mask thing he's made that can like slide up into the hood, but you can also slide down and like feel it. It can become like fully waterproof.
All right, you got your fancy magic wetsuits.
Yep. And they're good for cold weather. They're completely waterproof, and because of the design of like the fold down face mask thing, they can have like 10 or more minutes of air in them. Just don't ask how. It's magic.
Exactly. All right, anyone else want to grab any gear?
And Benjamin is going to distribute these, and they were each tailor made for like everybody. So it's like the perfect size, and also just like adorably extra, unnecessarily fluffy for May May.
Exactly.
Yes, I love it. I don't need anything else.
All right. If everyone is good, then you guys can all head back to the Temple of Elements, and let's get you teleported down there.
Okay.
All right. Pretty soon you're over at the Temple of Elements, and Alara points out on the map, kind of up toward the northern end of the central chamber. She points out one of the islands further up north and says, "I'm pretty sure this one's where they were." Yeah, it's pretty cold there, so good that everyone's all kitted out.
Benjamin is going to turn with a very serious look in his face towards Alex and say, "Just so you know, the zap stick does not go underwater with us.
Yes, it does.
It is actively coursing with electricity. It does not go underwater with us."
It does.
I'm sure it'll be
Okay.
fine.
Alex, you are officially on solo dive duty. No one is allowed to go down with you when you enter the water. Okay?
I'll just wrap it in rubble. Don't worry about it then.
You don't have rubber to wrap it in. You didn't grab any from the cave.
I mean, if the suits are waterproof, surely they're electric proof.
I'm not risking it personally, and I'm not gonna allow May May to dive with you either until we test this, okay, Alex?
It'll stay on land. Don't worry, Benjamin.
Okay, I just don't want anybody to get electrocuted while I'm in charge. Horatio would never trust me again. So after just setting some electric and water safety rules, especially considering it's salt water, and I think salt water conducts electricity even better than non-salt water, people are going to teleport off.
All right, so you teleport down and you find yourselves in a bright white area, dotted with the occasional dark gray rock outcropping. And you can see not too far away from you, a small village of igloos. You're still far enough away. It doesn't seem as though they've seen you, but you can spot a few seals kind of hopping to and fro. I don't know how you describe how seals move on land. But
So
they're wiggle worming around.
they're galumphing.
There we go. They're galumphing about.
Benjamin, reaching into his pocket, is going to pull out some snow goggles to put on so it's not quite as blinding. But he's also going to pull a handkerchief out and a little bit of a stick, and it's a white handkerchief. And he's going to tie the handkerchief to the stick just to hopefully make the seals less likely to think we're attacking them. And he's going to motion for the group to follow them as he slowly and carefully approaches the seal village.
All right. So you're still quite a distance from the seal village where you seem to be spotted, and you hear a voice coming out of, you're not sure where, but somewhere ahead of you in the snow. Halt! Who goes there?
Benjamin's gonna halt and say, it's Benjamin, Maymay, and Alex. We're here to help. We heard you guys were having trouble with pirates.
All right. You hear a little bit of whispering back and forth, and one of them says, they don't look like pirates. Okay. And so then you hear the voice again. All right, you may approach the village. And you see just kind of appearing out of the snow in front of you are three completely white, what are those white seals called? I want to call them leopard seals, but I don't think that's right.
I'm thinking that sounds like the ones that are in the Arctic and are famous for hunting
harp
penguins.
Seals, that's it. Little white baby harp seals. Just appear out of the snow, carrying sharpened sticks.
Benjamin is gonna follow. He's gonna start putting away the white flag.
All right,
and yeah.
They start leading you in. Sorry about the rough greetings. We've had troubles recently.
I mean, I completely understand. Like, from the sounds of it, it sounds like people were kidnapping some of you guys.
Indeed, we're pretty sure it's those dastardly pirates. But they're getting what comes to them now. See how they like it.
So, have we gotten the seals that were kidnapped at first returned?
Nope, not a single one. Those pirates claimed it wasn't them. But who else would do such a horrible thing?
Yeah, it does sound weird. Have we gotten any important pirates?
Not sure. They've been rather difficult nuts to crack when we've brought them in for questioning.
Could you show us to them? Maybe we can get something out of them.
Yeah, we'll see. You'll have to ask the Major first.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you guys soon arrive in the village, and you see another baby harp seal with a 5 o'clock shadow on its face and a large cigar chomped in its mouth. He seems to be wearing bandoliers filled with ammunition, and he has at least 3 Bowie knives in his belt. And he comes galumphing up and looking up at you says, these are the visitors. My name's Major, proud leader of the SEALs.
I'm Benjamin. Benjamin puts his hand out to shake the flipper of Major.
All right, he reaches up. Give me... you would be doing a 1 die stress roll if you didn't have so much cool. This guy has a grip like iron.
Benjamin has heard the adage strong grit, strong man, so he's at least glad to know that he can count on Major.
Alright, so he says, I hear you're finally responding to our request for assistance.
Yeah, sorry about the delay. There was a choo-choo tidal wave threatening to take over the village, and yeah, apparently people noticed that a little more heavily than the other one, which I really thought people were going to see that one and go for that.
It's
So
no
anyways, we'll need
matter.
help
We
now.
seals have a proud tradition of being able to take care of ourselves. I didn't want to post the quest in the first place, but the others insisted.
Well, we'll do whatever we can to help now that we're here.
Very good.
And
Very good.
I hope we can prove that you can count on us going forwards as well.
I certainly hope so.
On the way here, I did hear that we had some pirate hostages, but we couldn't get anything out of them as whether they were important, and they are claiming that they didn't kidnap you.
Yes, that's one of the few points they've been rather adamant on. Otherwise, they either won't talk or their stories are contradictory. I don't believe they're being fully honest with us.
Well, she may not look it. Benjamin is gonna sort of motion to Maymay. But Maymay here can be quite convincing when you give her the chance, so I was hoping we could see these captains.
I believe it. I can see it. She has that steely look in her eyes, don't you, girl?
What's steely mean?
Strong and powerful. Unbreakable like iron.
By the way, I know he's probably not, but I am imagining Major doing like bodybuilder flexes as he says these things.
Probably. Yeah. I suppose we can allow you to see the prisoners. Pardon me. And so he leads you to one of the igloos. This one seems to be a bit bigger than the others, and you can hear yowling coming from inside. And entering somewhat with trepidation, you see several pirates in cages made from driftwood, and then in the very center of the igloo is a pirate who seems to be tied down to a table, and he is having his bare feet tickled by little feathers by cute little harbor seals. I know, it's not pretty, but sometimes strong measures like this are necessary.
Benjamin is caught somewhere between a mix of that is the most adorable thing I've ever seen, and that might just be more terrifying than normal torture to a certain extent.
Alright, so he enters. Alright, boys, knock it off for now. We've got some visitors. They'd like to question our guests.
Benjamin is going to look around and just make sure he doesn't recognize any of the pirates from the time he was on Hook's vessel or in the prison.
You actually do recognize the guy who's currently strapped down to the table. He's the kind of older gentleman with the clipboard that Cook referred to as Smee.
Well, this is a good sign. Out of character, this is a good sign. Benjamin is gonna turn to Maymay and say, "You know what to do. See if you can learn anything from these guys."
Don't go easy on them.
Maymay is going to go in and put her cutest face on and just smile at Smee.
Alright, Smee
and wait
is...
for him to talk.
Smee is catching his breath, and eventually he wiping tears from his eyes, um, says, "Oh, oh my! Whew. Well, I thought nothing could melt my heart more than these poor little harbor seals, and here before me I see one of the unfortunates that were abandoned by that wicked Peter Pan. How are you, girl? I'm glad to see that you seem all right after everything that happened. The captain was terribly angry when you and that princess escaped."
Princess? I'm the princess. You
Oh,
wouldn't capture me like you captured those poor seals, would you?
well, we didn't capture any seals, though they seem rather convinced otherwise. I am afraid to say we did capture Princess Tiger Lily, though.
Oh, that princess. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Why'd you capture her anyway?
Well, Hook seemed rather convinced she had information he wanted. And when she and a few other Indians were spotted on shore, he sent an entire contingent of pirates over to capture them.
What information is he looking for?
You'd have to ask him. I think most of the question revolved around where their base was, though if you ask me, that's a rather pointless question. It's not like we're going to push through the jungles to try and reach them, and God forbid the captain tries to bombard them from shore.
Well, what are you doing out here then? If you're not gonna go through the jungle, why are you going through these icy waters?
Well, it wasn't exactly by choice. The captain sent me with a group of men on a scouting mission, and well, it seems that the seals here are quite convinced that we've been kidnapping their friends, and they decided to return the favor.
Well, maybe they would believe you if you had some sort of alibi. What have you been doing out here?
Well, it's a secret mission from the captain. I really shouldn't tell you. I could get in big trouble.
Oh, well, I won't tell anyone.
Do
You can trust this face.
do you pinky promise? And he holds out his pinky.
I pinky promise.
All right. So you entwine your pinkies together in a promise. So he says, "All right, lean in close." So he leans in. The captain found a treasure map. It seems to lead to something pretty good out here in the northern regions. We're not sure what. He's hoping that it might lead to Blackbeard's treasure. Of course, he hopes everything leads to that. And so we were headed out to the Crystal Caverns.
Ooh, sounds shiny.
But unfortunately, we were delayed by bad weather, and then when we tried to, not dock, because there's technically no dock, I guess moor our ship. When we tried to moor our ship for the night, something cut us loose, and when we woke up in the morning, most of us were bound and gagged, tossed unceremoniously overboard by these seals.
Man, I didn't know seals could be so ruthless.
Oh, you have no idea. You should hear the stories from back when they ran with Blackbeard.
Well, you guys kind of did the same thing to me and my friends, so I don't feel very bad.
Yeah, no, I certainly must apologize about that. The captain is, well, he can be a bit impetuous, I suppose.
Well, I bet he listens to you, though.
I wish. No. The captain very rarely listens to anyone other than that fairy of his.
What's that fairy's name again?
I was just looking that up because I don't remember either. I have not named her, evidently. Unless, maybe?
Tanya. Tanya sounds like a pirate name.
Oh, she does have a name. They call her Raven Tidecaller. She's a rather powerful fairy. One of the leaders of the Kraken's brood. I wouldn't cross her if you don't have to. I think, if anything, even Hook is afraid of her.
Maybe we could be friends.
Well, she's certainly a better to have as a friend than an enemy.
So do you, Pinky, promise you weren't kidnapping any seals?
Of course. I'll pinky promise. And, what's the one where it's like, there, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye, I even swear upon my mother's grave.
Okay, I believe you. I'll see if I could talk some sense into those seals.
I certainly would appreciate it.
Although you have to admit, it was really cute while they were tickling you.
Yeah, it's hard to appreciate it through the tears streaming down my cheeks, but, yeah, it kind of was.
Okay, Mei walks back over and says, I think he's telling the truth. I don't think they were kidnapping seals, but I do think that we can find Blackbeard's treasure at the Crystal Caverns.
Benjamin's gonna say, well, you can't just say they didn't do it. The problem with that is that we need to find out who did as well. We might be able to talk to Major and see if he knows if anyone else lives around here. I don't know, maybe mermaids? Who knows, maybe rival seals? Maybe the Penguin Gang or something. Like the Penguin and his goons got the seals. We'll have to talk to Major and see if he can think of anyone else who's around here who could have done it. And if not, we'll have to start looking to see if, someone has moved in. This is really odd.
Yeah, I wonder who it could be.
So Benjamin's gonna lead his little trifecta of heroes out.
Yeah. And I should have had you roll earlier. Jason, could you give me a contacts roll for talking to Smee? We won't retcon anything, even if you don't succeed, but hopefully we'll get some mana for you. Oh. Well, good thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't roll.
Yeah, no, I'll let this one slide. That was my fault for not making you roll it in the first place.
Mei's just so adorable. Sometimes she just charms even the GM.
Exactly. All right. So now you head over to find Major.
So Benjamin's gonna walk up to Major and say, well, so far from what we found, it seems pretty convincing.
So you walk over behind Major, and he spins around and throws two knives, almost impaling both of you. He goes, oh, sorry about that, Private. Don't sneak up behind an old warhorse like me. And grabs the knives and pulls them back out of the snow.
Benjamin says, sorry, sir, I'll try it. I'll remember to announce my presence. Standing somewhat attention after having a knife thrown at him.
That'd be for the best. All right. Well, what did you find? Were you able to get them to sing?
Sir, so far it seems like that at least they're holding very steady to it, but considering what Mei Mei's capable of doing, that does lead me to believe they might be telling the truth. Which means, while we are going to continue investigating the pirates, we would also like to look and see if, anyone else who's around here, or maybe we can find someone who's moved in, who's started doing this and is trying to frame the pirates.
Well, not too many people like to call the northern areas home like we do. Excuse me. Let's see. We've got the penguins. What was that?
I said the private who sneezed nearly got impaled.
Exactly. Yeah, he almost takes out the sneezing seal off to the corner while everyone's just like, "Oh, it sneezed." Well, there's the penguins. They're led by the emperor, of course. Who else? We drove off the polar bears long ago, and they wouldn't dare show their faces in these regions. We've got some moose, though they're generally a bit further south. I don't know. There's a few nasties underwater, but that's about all I can think of.
Would any of them happen to have something to do with, and he says this one a little bit quieter, the Crystal Caverns?
Why do you ask?
Well, Mei Mei here figured out during the interrogation that the pirates were near there when this started going down. So we're thinking maybe someone there decided to frame the pirates to kind of try and chase them away.
Interesting. Well, there are a tribe of narwhals who call that area home.
I do have to say, though, poor Sneer is going to feel so betrayed. We told him we weren't going to tell anybody. We've told basically everyone.
Right?
So I'm thinking my big three suspects right now, Major Sir, is the penguins, just because that seems natural, but might be too obvious. The polar bears, just because it sounds like they definitely could have a grudge, and if they were to come back, this sounds like something they'd pursue. And the narwhals, of course, given what we found, seem fairly likely. Could you give us directions or some way to meet up with any of them, and maybe some old polar bear hideouts or some new locations that might be good for them?
I have no idea where the polar bears have gone after we drove them out, but they have an old fortress not too far from here. You just head west a ways and you'll see it. It's a rather intimidating structure. We I've considered tearing it down, but decided it might be of a strategic value later. For the penguins, you'll want to head further north. They're on the next island up.
And then I'd assume the Crystal Caverns are somewhere down underwater.
Well, part of it is. But there's a large icy iceberg floating above it, shaped like a skull. You can't miss it.
Yes, sir. Could we borrow some rope?
I'm afraid we don't really have much rope around.
I was just hoping to fashion something that way if there's a blizzard, I can make sure the group doesn't get separated.
Well, it's a bit difficult to use ropes and tie knots and stuff when you don't have thumbs, he says as he flaps his little flippers.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess we'll be off then. We'll start with the penguins. I figure May can help us, you know, figure out what we need to know pretty quickly with them. Then we'll check in on the polar bears and the crystal caverns. And if we find any information, we'll be right back to you, sir.
Very good. In the meantime, perhaps I'll continue to interrogate the prisoners. I think we've been too gentle on them so far. Perhaps it's time for someone to sit on their chests and stare into their eyes.
Benjamin is filled with a overwhelming wave of adorableness upon seeing this, but managing to not let it burst out into an awe, he sort of bows out as he moves away to gather the group to head off.
All right. I should have made you roll contact as well. Go ahead and roll contact, and I will say May helped you, and she can also roll to assist. So when you roll to assist, May, what you're going to do is you're going to roll contact, and then you can choose one of your dice to give to David.
Okie dokie.
But then you also take whatever's remaining. So in this case, you could give like David the 6 to get a full success, and then you would have a 4 effectively.
Cool.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do 2 mana. What did May do to help out with the whole exchange with Major?
May continuously mirrored all of the very cartoonishly over the top macho gestures that Major was making as he was talking, and put him off guard for the entire exchange so that Benjamin had the upper hand.
All right. So, yeah, so that's another 2 mana. So you guys are gathered up and head out of the igloo.
Yep. So we're going to penguins first. I figure not too much happens there. We're on the way.
Yeah, so you guys head over. The penguins set you up with a little iceberg that you can use magic to scoot around like a little motorboat. So you soon enough find yourself over at the other island, and you see that the whole island, well, not all of it, but the majority of it seems to have been sculpted like a water park with numerous slides of all shapes and descriptions and lengths and steepnesses and whatnot across the area, and penguins are zipping around on these slides having a wee old time.
Whoa, I want to try.
All right, the penguins seemed entirely nonplussed by your appearance, and even greet you and are like, "Oh, humans, yeah, yes, join us. Try this one, it's great." And they are gesturing toward one of the tallest slides, a massive corkscrew structure.
So Benjamin is going to quietly remind May to try and ask around and subtly see if she can, like, you know, maybe get some hints or drop some hints about the seals being captured, and see if anyone reacts like they might know something a little more. Just because May's the one that's good with people, and especially animal people. And he's just going to kind of like join in and casually hang out.
I do the same.
All right. So, Meme, you head up to the very top of this slide. You can see what seems like the whole world stretching out below you from the very top. And There's a short queue of penguins ahead of you.
Mei Mei is suddenly feeling extremely anxious and afraid being this high above the ground.
Fair.
But she is trying very, very hard not to show it.
All right, go ahead and give me a 2 die stress roll. Do you have any cool points to reduce that?
I don't.
All right. Go ahead and roll them then.
Is there anything? Is there anything that I can roll to have Benjamin notice Mei Mei's discomfort, or can I just do that?
If I assumed you were not going on the same slide as her.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was asking if there was any way I could notice.
Yeah, no, you guys are not even near each other.
Okay.
All right, that's a 5.
Let's go.
So with a 5, you are able to calm yourself. Presumably you hug Mr. Snuggles close and are actually able to kind of center yourself and you feel fine.
I'm the best. I'm gonna do this slide.
Mr. Snuggles says,
I'm not
"That's
scared."
right. If you want to sit in my lap, I'll carry you on the way down."
So fun. I love that idea.
All right, so the penguin says in front of you says, "Yeah, I had to have my mom ride me down the first time I went. This one's pretty big and scary, but it's so fun."
How many times have you done it now?
I don't know. Hundreds, probably. The worst part is to walk up. It takes forever, especially with my little feet. And he kind of waddles around for a few steps to demonstrate.
Oh man, I know what you mean. I've got little legs too.
Yeah, you should see me in the water, though. I'm like zip, zam, zoom.
I bet. I wouldn't want to race you. You would definitely beat me.
Maybe. What brings a human here anyway? We don't see a whole lot of you guys all the way up here in the north.
We're friends with seals.
Whoa. Yeah, we haven't heard much from the seals recently. They used to come over and play with us, but recently they've been too grumpy.
Are any of the penguins grumpy at the seals?
I don't know. Not that I know of.
Huh, okay. Well,
You know, roll
good
contact.
luck on the slide.
Would you like
Oh,
to roll
yes.
contact?
Let's remember to roll this time.
And I think you should do 5 because you have a 4 in contact, and then you're really good with animals.
Oh yeah, these are penguins.
Yeah. Because what's your special skill? Animal lover or something like that?
Good with animals.
All right, that's a
Definitely.
6. So that's another 2 mana. And he racks his brain and he does think of some useful information. So would you like to say what that is, or would you like me to?
I would like you to.
All right. So he thinks about it for a minute and says, well, I guess maybe there is one person who's kind of grumpy at the seals, but they're grumpy at everyone.
Oh yeah, who would that be?
Well, there's this one penguin who lives on the top of the mountain over there, and he points off to a mountain, kind of overlooking the slides and everything. I don't know what's up with him, but he's like green and weird, and I think his heart is like 2 sizes too small, or maybe it's his shoes. Either way, he's always grumpy up there.
He's green?
Right?
And he's a penguin?
Well, I'm not sure he's a penguin. He's a bit weird. Oh, hey, it's my turn. It was good chatting with you. Goodbye. He goes sliding off.
Have fun!
I'll meet you at the bottom. Don't fall off.
Oh no, you could fall off?
All right, and you now find yourself at the front of the line.
Okay, Mr. Snuggles. I'm not gonna think about it. Let's go!
All right,
And jump, no hesitation.
Yeah, Mr. Snuggles comes up, jumps right behind you, and then grabs you as he slides down, and keeps you pulled into a tight hug the entire way down. And it is exhilarating, zooming down this corkscrew, picking up speed as you go. And then it levels off onto a long sheet of ice that allows you to slide for what feels like ages, almost reaching the water at the edge of the island before you finally come sliding to a halt.
Oh man, I want to go again. And then I look up at the. Is there even stairs, or is it just a hill to get to the top?
You think you can see a path leading up to the top?
Well, it is way too far, and I'm tired just looking at it. I look around to see if I spot my new friend from the line.
You do indeed spot him. He is on the ground, kind of like just spinning in circles and laughing to himself.
Hey, that was amazing!
Right? I told you, it's the best slide in the park.
My name's Maymay. What's your name?
Oh, hey, my name's, what's a penguin name?
Newt Newt.
Flipper.
My name's Blizzard.
Well, it was great to meet you, Blizzard. Thanks for making me feel more comfortable going down the slide.
No problem. Hopefully you can come back again. There's so many good slides, even though you did pick the first one, or the best one first.
Well, I had to see the best for myself.
Exactly.
Oh, wait, what's the green man's name?
Trying to find anagrams for the word Grinch.
We could just call him the Granch.
He is the Grim Chin.
Grim Chin.
I like that.
Well, thank you so much. Hopefully I'll see you on some more slides.
Sure thing. If you're ever back in the area, make sure to find me.
And Maymay heads out, try and find Benjamin with this new intel. And
All right.
Alex. Did we all split up?
I think Alex kind of stayed with me from the sounds of it.
Okay, so I'm looking for the both of yous.
All right. So it doesn't take you long, considering you are all like 2 to 3 times taller than any of the penguins. So you spot them before long. What kind of slide had Benjamin and Alex found for themselves?
Benjamin found one that does a loop-de-loop.
Nice. So you see Benjamin and Alex zooming along a slide, taking a loop-de-loop, and then being launched up and landing in a large pad of soft snow.
Benjamin is gonna sit up and spy Maymay, and then he's gonna kind of motion to Alex and head over towards Maymay and say, "This place is really great, isn't it?"
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
just went upside down.
I know, right? Did we find anything though? I figure Major wouldn't be too happy if we spent too much time on vacation.
Oh yeah. There's a green penguin on a mountain that hates everybody.
Hmm.
Hmm.
If I know anything about green people that hate everybody, they generally have a decent know of what's going on in a surveillance system.
Well, his name is the Grim Chin. I think we should go see him.
Yeah, let's go meet up with Mr. Grimshin. Hopefully you can get through to him.
All right, so you head out and begin your arduous ascent up the Grim Chin's mountain. Eventually, Mr. Snuggles carries May May, whose little legs are getting tired. And after quite a significant hike, you find yourselves up at the top of the mountain, where you see a large door directly into the side of the mountain, and a few windows seem to be carved out as well.
Benjamin
Hello?
will say, yeah, Benjamin will say to May May, you should probably knock, that way you can talk to him first.
Okay. May May knocks and says, "Hello, Mr. Grim Chin."
Go away!
No, I don't want to.
You hear some shuffling, and then a little mini window in the door slides open. Children, go away! And the thing slams closed, and then you hear a window above you open, and you see a pair of green hands take a bucket, put it out the window, and turn it upside down.
Oh my goodness, that is not how people normally interact with me.
So yeah, I guess all of you go ahead and do a 1 die stressful, except for those of you who are too cool for it. As you have garbage dumped on your heads.
Benjamin is getting serious Grell of the Kind flashbacks.
All right.
May May rolled a 3.
Oh.
Oof, that's not good. So with a 3, May May, you will lose 1 die from an appropriate skill. So go ahead and pick what that is. Alex, on the other hand, you completely lose your cool. So I assume you didn't have any, considering you rolled this, so you don't lose anything there. And you lose a number of dice equal to the number of stress dice rolled, which was also 1. So you are extremely upset, but actually not any more incapacitated than May May was from that.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
a large green meatball slaps you right in the forehead.
Ew, what?
And this was very upsetting for everybody because it was giving them serious Grell of the Kind flashbacks.
Exactly.
This is kind of like Grelid. Luckily, we have a lot of experience with how to deal with people like this. Although, only one of our plans ever worked.
All right. Well, the
Benjamin
window slams shut once again.
Benjamin isn't having any particularly genius ideas at the moment.
What if Alex zaps him with the electric stick.
I don't think that would make a very good impression.
Also, I think he's in the house, so I think he's safe.
What
Maybe
if we
we could-
light the house on fire with my lightning stick?
It's made of stone, but you could probably blast the door open with your lightning stick.
Yeah.
Well, why are we turning into criminals all of a sudden? Maybe we can just have Maymay get him talking about how much he hates, like, polar bears and narwhals, and he might drop a hint on what one of the other is doing.
Oh, good idea.
You could roll a
I'm-
contact and try.
Yeah, I want to roll contact and say something along the lines of, "Oh my goodness, I just hate those stinking penguins, don't you think?"
All right, go ahead and roll contact, and you can include your animal lover in this. All right, that's a 6. So that's 2 more mana. Would you like to describe what happens, or shall I?
I guess you go.
All right, or would you like to just roleplay your side, and I'll do the Gridge side?
Perfect. Oh my goodness, I just hate those penguins. I wish there was someone I could just rant about it with.
So you, the little slide on the door opens slowly. Hate penguins, eh? Those are on my
And
list.
seals
Hate
and
hate,
narwhals.
double hate. You might be children, but perhaps we're not so different, you and I. Suppose it wouldn't hurt to let you in. But you'd better wipe your shoes.
Seals.
Don't want your stinky children boot prints on my floors. So the you hear an absolutely unnecessary number of locks and other devices being removed from the door, and then it creaks slowly open, and you see standing in the doorway a green bear.
Whoa, you're a bear.
I'm
Just
not
like
a
Mr.
bear.
Snuggles.
I'm a penguin.
Okay, you're a penguin.
Exactly. Look at how I waddle. He does his best to waddle on his hind feet, and it does not go all that well.
Yeah, you're a great waddler.
Well, thank
Just
you.
like a penguin.
Well, I guess. Come in.
Benjamin will make sure to very carefully and extremely well wipe off his shoes.
It's completely pointless. As soon as you step inside, you realize that the entire surface of this cave is covered in grime, much of it green.
Well, I will make sure only green grime is in his cave.
All right, so you head
And
in.
also,
His cave is surprisingly large and filled with all kinds of random assorted garbage and doodads and wacko inventions of some sort, most of which it is extremely unclear what their purpose could be. And so he leads you into a dining room, and he says, I'd offer you some tea, but all I have is liquid vomit.
Oh, delicious. I
think I'm okay.
actually go on a liquid vomit diet recently. No liquid vomit for me.
Suit yourselves. He picks up a glass full of some sort of chunky liquid and gluggles it down.
May gags audibly.
Benjamin is going to put his hand reassuringly on May's shoulder and sort of just like
May recovers.
kind of remind her, our quest here is to get him ranting about the different factions and see if we can learn anything from that. So the sooner we get him talking about the different factions, the sooner we can get out of here.
Blah.
So
Those feels, they make me just want to throw up.
yeah. Stupid happy seals always having fun and cheering and screaming all day long. I can't stand it. And he grabs an entire like cluster of garlic off to the table and just like takes a big old bite out of it. And then continues talking with horrible garlic breath being expunged across all of you. And between that and everything else unpleasant in this cave, everyone give me a 3-die stress roll.
Oh no, I have to participate.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
Please don't roll a 1. Please don't roll a 1. No! Why? How could this happen to me? I've made my mistake.
All right, David. So you lose all of your cool, and and it's the number of stress dice you rolled, though. So you don't take 3 damage; you take 1 damage. But
let's hope I can build up my cool at some point.
Well. All right, I need those rolls from May and Alex.
I got 3 5s.
Nice. All right, you are unaffected.
How many dice are we supposed to be rolling again?
3.
3.
All right, that's a 1.
Got...
So
Yeah,
Alex is not doing great. Alex vomits noisily on the floor and then goes running out of the cave, where she trips and falls on her face. So, yeah, you don't have any cool to lose, but you will take 3 damage.
Yeah.
All right. Well, May, you are completely chill.
Doesn't it make you want to just kidnap some seals thinking about it?
It's pointless to kidnap seals just to get back at them, but if one were to have more interesting plans... Everyone ends up with the same voice by the end. I'm terrible at doing voices.
I like the voice. What kind of interesting plans did you have in mind?
Oh, you have no idea, little girl. Have you ever heard of Christmas?
I've heard of Christmas.
That's a weird way to say that word.
How do you call it?
Christmas.
Christmas.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, there's a tradition for the seals where jolly old Saint Prick, or whatever his name is, comes down with his sleigh, carried by 6 magical seals, and he brings them all presents and salted cod and whatever it is that frickin' seals like. Well, this year, old Saint Prick will be moi. And he goes over to a corner and yanks a sheet off of a strangely shaped thing, and you can see a sleigh And then in a cage next to it, 6 seals with little antlers tied to their foreheads.
Oh, well, I'm still outside, not doing great. Never mind.
You may have come
Oh
back in
my-
by now.
Oh my goodness, you devious, clever
Oh,
penguin.
you're making me blush. They won't
So when
know.
is
There won't be any more happiness down in Sealville this year when I steal Christmas from them.
Christmas?
Oh, not much longer. It's only a couple days away. You'll know it's the night of Christmas when you see them redecorate all of the slides and paint them in red stripes like candy canes. Ugh, if you think it's an eyesore looking down there now, you can't imagine.
All right, Benjamin, we better, do the thing.
Oh yeah, we do need to go.
What?
Benjamin is going to roll academics to come up with something clever and technology he needs to do as a tinker that
All right.
sounds convincing.
That's still technically a contact roll, though.
Oof. Can I apply my tinker because I'm coming up with something tinkery?
Yes.
Let's see. And I think I foolishly took it out of contact. I should have just done athletics.
All right.
Okay, I got a 4.
It's a 4, so that's not bad. No dice for you.
Let's see. Benjamin is going to say that we need to go modify a buoy that we left out to put out interfering radar signals so they can't see the sleigh coming in. Just that way the seals don't try anything and we all head out.
All
It
right. He
sounded convincing.
seems very suspicious. And how would you have known to interfere with the seals if you hadn't met me before?
Benjamin's going to say, that's actually why we're doing it now. We just saw an old buoy on the way and we figured we could help out. Give those seals what's coming for them. That's why we need to go modify.
If you
Not interrupting
say
radar.
so.
Wow, it's boosting radar signals right now. They'd be easier for them to see you if we don't go interfere with this. Do you have anything we could borrow to help with that? I could use some screwdrivers.
Well, there's all kinds of tools scattered around if you can find them.
Benjamin is going to take a very quick and cursory look, and if there's not anything immediately obvious above the grime, he's just gonna leave.
Would you like to roll technology to sabotage one of his various machines?
Sure. Go ahead and get my tinker going. Hopefully this doesn't horribly backfire, everyone.
Just roll five ones.
I did get a 6.
You did indeed get a 6. All right, so what do you do?
So I sabotage one of his devices in a way that is extremely random but irritating intervals, it will make an extremely hard to locate sound that will make him very distracted and fiddling and disassembling every device in here to try and make it stop.
All right, so you rig up one of his contraptions so that at random, it'll just make a cuckoo bird come out of a different part of a different machine each time.
Diabolical.
And we head out. He will be very occupied going forwards.
All right, you guys head out.
All right, we gotta tell Major what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, we're going to hurry, but safely hurry down the slope and make our way slightly off from the village until we get out of sight of the mountain. And then we are going to go to the village once we're out of sight of the mountain.
All right, so soon enough, you return to the seals and once again are led back into the large igloo where the pirates are being held. And you see each of the pirates are back in their cages, but each of them has a seal that is snuggling up into their arms, and they're staring down, going, "I wish I could tell you more, but I've really told you everything." And the seals just stare back with those big puppy dog eyes. And Major turns around as you guys enter and says, "Aha! Well, I think they're about to break. They can't take much more of this."
I assume we still smell slightly awful from being in the rough proximity of Grimchin.
Yeah, you guys probably still smell a bit like garlic.
So, Benjamin, like slightly bracing himself against the wall after that awful experience, is like, "Major, we figured out who has your seals."
Oh, you have? Where are the dastardly pirates hiding?
It's not a pirate. It's some awful creature called Grimchin.
You mean that strange green penguin?
Apparently, he hates how happy you guys are around Christmas, and he kidnapped 6 of you to have them as part of this sleigh device he's gonna fly down and make your Christmas horrible with.
What? Are you sure about this?
We saw them there. May tell him.
We saw it. It's true.
Diabolical. In our own backyard. All right, boys, that's enough. All of the seals kind of just like suddenly stop making cute puppy dog eyes and jump off the pirates. And they quickly line up in the middle of the igloo. All right, men, we're headed into hell. But if we work together, perhaps most of us will survive. I wouldn't count on you, though, Private. And one of the dopey-looking seals kind of looks slightly downcast at that. Well, the rest of us should be fine. Get your paint on and your weapons, and we'll head out. So there's a quick montage as the seals take pink paint and put it underneath their eyes and grab a variety of toys / weapons. The dangerous quantities of which are often rather dubious but unclear. And soon enough, the seals are swimming up ahead of your little iceberg boat. And as the sun starts to set, you guys have positioned yourselves outside of the door. All right, you 3, are you ready for action?
Real quick before we continue, I want to do an academics to contribute something to the montage.
All right, go for it.
Okay, 4. So that's decent.
Yep.
Benjamin has like fully drawn out a map of Grimchin's place from being inside of it, and also given them pretty decent predictions of when the various cuckoos are going to go off to help, time up and improve the operation. But Benjamin had to draw the entire map out of crayons on blueprint paper.
All right. So with that information on hand, he says, all right, the cuckoo should be clucking any moment now. Place the charges! And 2 pink camo satchels are quickly slapped onto the door. And after a few moments, you hear cuckoo, 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 and you hear Grimchin inside. I'm the one who's going cuckoo! Ah! And then blow the door! A massive explosion as the door is blasted off of its hinges, and the seals, in a flurry of motion, go charging inside. And by the time this dust settles and you guys are even recovered from the massive unexpected explosion at the door, you see Grimchin is tied up with 3 seals on top of him, holding him in place, and Major says, all right, where did you say the prisoners were being held?
So Benjamin's gonna go up to the curtain that was hiding the sleigh device and the cage, and he's gonna open it.
All right, you whip the curtain back, and underneath is the sleigh device and the seals in cages who, upon seeing their rescuers, ride up and say, Major, Tommy, Cielo, and Grumpness, you've come for us. And yeah, there is much rejoicing. And Grimchin is loaded up onto his own sleigh and carried back down the mountain, complaining the whole way. And so Major says, well, it seems the mystery is solved. Thank goodness we've found our friends, though I suppose we'll have to apologize to those pirates now. Either way, that's our problem. You've been quite helpful, my friends.
No problem.
Benjamin's gonna salute him and say, yes, sir, just happy to help, and let us know if you need any help with the negotiations.
Of course. And if you ever need our help as well, do let me know. Perhaps when you return, we could help you get to that crystal caves you were talking about or something.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, up to it, boys. And yeah. Having succeeded, what did you guys want as your reward for this quest?
Kind of hard to pick.
All right. Well, we will leave that to be determined then. So we'll just say that you guys head back to the village and have a party with the penguins and the seals, and the pirates rather confusedly also join in. And the Grinch is tied up to a pole and forced to watch all of you having a good time.
No.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. What was that?
We clearly are tormenting him.
Right.
And at some point, we'll have to have a confessional flashback where it's just like, and then I remember the reward we got from the seals.
Exactly. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Let's start with Alex. What has Alex learned?
That apparently I don't handle stress well.
Yeah, that was pretty bad luck to roll ones twice in a row.
Yeah.
What about Maymay? What has she learned?
Maymay learned that anyone can be a penguin if you believe hard enough, even if you're a bear.
Yep. And last but not least, what about Benjamin? What has he learned?
Benjamin has learned that Grimchin is so unfathomably nasty that somehow he can force you to roll a 1 on a 1-die roll.
Yep. Hey, I'm not terribly upset. Now finally like 1 and 2 die stress rolls affect you.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping that I get really lucky and get some 6s and stuff again building up and can become cool again.
You may very well do that. Alrighty, everyone. Well, I hope you all had a good game. I know I did, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye!
So,
Bye.